Welcome back to another peaceful evening recap. Tonight, we're stepping into the magical and mysterious world of Spirited Away. From 2001, a gentle story about a young girl named Chihiro who discovers a hidden realm filled with spirits, magic, and unexpected kindness. Let's settle in together and follow this enchanting journey of courage, friendship, and finding one's inner strength. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to drift into this beautiful tale that unfolds like a dream. Our story begins on a quiet afternoon as 10-year-old Chihiro travels with her parents to their new home. The countryside rolls past their car windows in soft greens and gentle browns, but Chihiro pays little attention to the scenery. She sits quietly in the back seat, her arms crossed, feeling uncertain about the move and missing her old life, her old school, her friends, the familiar neighborhood where she knew every corner. All of it now feels impossibly far away. Her father, trying to lighten the mood, decides to take what he calls a scenic shortcut through what appears to be an abandoned area. As they drive deeper into this forgotten place, the road becomes narrower and more winding. Ancient trees arch overhead, creating a natural tunnel that filters the sunlight into gentle dancing patterns. They eventually come upon a peculiar tunnel entrance, flanked by weathered stone statues that seem to watch their approach with silent, patient eyes. The tunnel itself appears to be carved from solid rock, its entrance wide and inviting, despite its mysterious nature. The family walks through this mysterious passage, their footsteps echoing softly in the cool, dim space. The air smells of earth and old stones, and there's a sense of stepping through time itself. When they emerge on the other side, they find themselves in what seems like an old, deserted theme park. The buildings are ornate but empty, with traditional Japanese architecture that speaks of a different era. Grass grows between the paving stones, and the whole place has the peaceful quiet of abandonment. As they explore this strange place, Chihiro's parents are drawn by an enticing aroma that leads them to a restaurant filled with the most delicious-looking food. The establishment appears to be completely deserted, with no staff or customers in sight, yet the tables are laden with steaming dishes that look fresh and appetizing. There are plates of dumplings, bowls of rice, grilled fish, and all manner of delicacies that seem to call out to hungry travelers. Despite Chihiro's growing uneasiness and her repeated concerns about taking food that doesn't belong to them, her parents decide to help themselves, reasoning that they'll leave money to pay for what they eat. While her parents indulge in the mysterious feast, laughing and talking as they sample dish after dish, Chihiro wanders away, feeling increasingly troubled by the entire situation. Something about this place doesn't feel right to her, though she can't quite put her finger on what it is. The buildings seem too quiet, the emptiness too complete, and there's an underlying sense that they've stepped into somewhere they don't belong. She comes across a magnificent, ornate bathhouse that rises several stories high, its traditional architecture both beautiful and imposing. The building is decorated with intricate carvings and colorful details, and steam rises gently from various vents and windows. It's here that she meets a boy who appears to be about her age, though there's something otherworldly about him. His name is Haku, and his green eyes hold an ancient wisdom that seems far too old for his young face. He urgently tells her that she and her parents must leave this place immediately before dark falls and the true nature of this realm reveals itself. But when Chihiro rushes back to find her parents, her heart sinks with horror and disbelief. Where her mother and father had been sitting, enjoying their impromptu meal, she now finds two large pigs, still eating greedily from the plates around them. The food seems to have transformed them, and they show no recognition when she calls their names. As darkness begins to fall, the once empty park transforms before her eyes. Lights begin to flicker on in windows. The sound of distant voices and activity fills the air, and spirits of all shapes and sizes begin to appear, going about their evening routines as if this magical world has simply awakened from its daytime slumber. Haku finds the frightened and confused Chihiro and gently explains that she has stumbled into the spirit world, a parallel realm where magical beings live and work. The park transforms each evening into a bustling community for spirits, ghosts, and other supernatural creatures. He tells her that to save her parents and return to the human world, she must find work at the bathhouse, and most importantly, remember her true name. The bathhouse, he explains with careful patience, is a place where spirits come to cleanse themselves and refresh their energy after their journeys and work in various parts of the world. Haku seems to know Chihiro from somewhere long ago, though she can't quite remember where they might have met. There's something familiar about his voice and the gentle way he speaks to her, as if he's an old friend she's simply forgotten. He promises to help her navigate this strange new world, but warns that she must be brave, determined, and clever. The spirit world has its own rules and dangers, and only through her own strength and growth can she hope to save her parents and find her way home. The bathhouse itself is a marvel to behold. It rises like a magnificent palace into the night sky, with countless floors, balconies, and windows glowing warmly in the darkness. Steam rises constantly from the building, carrying with it the sense of various magical herbs and cleansing waters. The architecture is impossibly complex, with staircases that lead in unexpected directions, rooms that seem larger inside than outside, and elevators that move according to their own mysterious logic. The bathhouse is run by Yubaba, a powerful witch whose magic controls much of this spirit realm. Yubaba is an imposing figure with an enormous head, elaborate jewelry, and an aura of absolute authority. Her office is filled with magical contracts, floating papers that move on their own, and various supernatural artifacts that speak to her immense power. When Chihiro first meets her, Yubaba is initially dismissive and cruel, viewing the human girl as nothing more than a nuisance in her well-ordered establishment. Convincing Yubaba to give her a job proves to be quite challenging. The witch enjoys testing people and making them prove their worth through trials that can be both humiliating and difficult. She circles around Chihiro like a predator, pointing out all the reasons why a human child would be useless in a bathhouse for spirits. But Chihiro, drawing on a courage she didn't know she possessed, persists in her request. She knows that work is her only path to saving her parents, so she endures Yubaba's mockery and continues to ask for employment. Eventually, perhaps impressed by Chihiro's determination or simply tired of her persistence, Yubaba agrees to employ her. However, the witch immediately takes away Chihiro's name, giving her the new identity Sen, and warning that if she forgets her real name, she will never be able to leave the spirit world. This is one of Yubaba's cruelest tricks. By stealing people's names, she steals their identities and their connection to their true selves. The witch's magic also affects Chihiro's parents, making them forget they were ever human as they continue their existence as pigs in the bathhouse's livestock pen. Chihiro's old clothes disappear, replaced with the standard work uniform of the bathhouse. Simple, practical clothing that marks her as an employee rather than a guest. Everything familiar is being stripped away from her, piece by piece, leaving her feeling more alone and vulnerable than ever before. Yet even in this frightening situation, there's a small spark of determination growing within her. Chihiro begins her new life working in the bathhouse under the guidance of Lin, a kind-hearted woman who takes pity on the confused and frightened girl. Lin has her own story of how she came to work in the spirit world, and she understands the fear and disorientation that comes with being trapped in this magical realm. She shows Chihiro the ways of this unusual workplace with patience and good humor, explaining the countless rules and customs that govern interactions with the spirit customers. The bathhouse is truly a wonder to explore. There are elevators that move on their own, responding to calls from different floors and carrying passengers up and down the building according to their own mysterious schedule. The corridors seem to stretch on endlessly, with rooms branching off in all directions, each serving a different purpose in the complex operation of spiritual cleansing and refreshment. Some rooms are filled with different types of baths, some with water so hot it steams constantly, others with cool, refreshing pools that sparkle with their own inner light. The basement of the bathhouse houses the furnace room, where countless tiny soot sprites work tirelessly to keep the fires burning that heat all the water throughout the building. These soot sprites are adorable creatures, round and black like living dust bunnies, with tiny arms and legs and bright white eyes. They move in perfect coordination, carrying chunks of coal that are often larger than themselves, working together like a well-orchestrated dance. The furnace room is managed by Kamaji, a remarkable being with a human torso, but 6 long, flexible arms that allow him to work with incredible efficiency. Kamaji appears gruff and intimidating at first, with his wild hair and intense focus on his work, but he reveals himself to be fundamentally kind-hearted. When Chihiro first stumbles into his domain, lost and overwhelmed, he helps her despite having no obligation to do so. His many arms move constantly, tending different aspects of the furnace operation, sorting herbs for the bath waters, and managing the complex systems that keep the bathhouse functioning. As Chihiro settles into her work routine, she begins to encounter the incredible diversity of spirits that visit the bathhouse. There are spirits that look almost human, others that appear as animals or mythical creatures, and some that defy easy description altogether. Some spirits are kind and patient, understanding that Zen is new and still learning the proper ways to serve them. Others are indifferent, focused only on their own cleansing and refreshment. A few seem frightening at first glance, with unusual appearances or intimidating demeanors. But Chihiro gradually learns that many of these seemingly scary spirits are actually quite gentle once she approaches them with respect and genuine care. One of the most important lessons Chihiro learns is that in the spirit world, sincerity and effort matter far more than perfection. When she makes mistakes and she makes many in her early days. Most spirits are forgiving as long as they can see that she's trying her best. She learns the proper way to prepare different types of baths, how to mix the special herbs and cleansing agents that each type of spirit requires, and how to approach each customer with the appropriate level of respect and service. The work is physically demanding and often exhausting. The bathhouse operates around the clock, with spirits arriving at all hours, seeking cleansing and renewal. Chihiro's hands become rough from the constant washing and scrubbing. Her feet ache from standing for long hours, and she often falls into bed so tired that sleep comes immediately, despite her worries about her parents and her uncertain future. Yet even in this difficult situation, Chihiro begins to find moments of unexpected beauty and connection. She discovers that many of the spirits have fascinating stories about their lives in the natural world. Spirits of rivers and forests, mountains and seas, each with their own unique perspective on the changing world around them. Some have been alive for centuries and remember times when the world was very different. Others are younger spirits, still learning their own roles in maintaining the balance between the natural and supernatural worlds. Her greatest challenge comes when a heavily polluted spirit arrives at the bathhouse one evening. This being appears at first to be one of the most terrifying customers the bathhouse has ever seen. It's enormous and covered in what appears to be thick black sludge that drips constantly and leaves terrible stains wherever it goes. The smell is overwhelming, a mixture of rotting garbage, chemicals, and decay that makes everyone in the bathhouse cover their noses and recoil in disgust. Most of the other workers are afraid to approach this spirit, and it's assigned to Sen as a test of her ability and courage. As she begins the process of trying to cleanse this being, she realizes that what initially appeared to be a terrifying river spirit is actually suffering tremendously from all the pollution and trash that has been dumped into his river over the years. The black sludge isn't part of his natural form. It's the accumulated waste and poison that humans have carelessly thrown into his waters. The cleansing process is long and difficult. Working with patience and determination, Chihiro begins pulling out bicycles, shopping carts, garbage bags, and all manner of human refuse from the spirit's body. Each piece of trash that's removed seems to cause the spirit both pain and relief, as if he's been carrying this burden for so long that it has become part of him. Yet he longs to be free of it. Other workers gradually join the effort as they see Sen's dedication and realize the true nature of what they're dealing with. What began as a task assigned to the newest and least important worker becomes a collective effort to help a suffering spirit return to his true, clean form. The work is messy and exhausting, but there's something deeply satisfying about seeing the spirit's true nature gradually emerge from beneath the layers of human pollution. When the cleansing is finally complete, the river spirit stands revealed in his true form, a magnificent, ancient being with the power and dignity of a great waterway that has flowed for countless generations. His gratitude is profound and touching. In appreciation for Chihiro's kindness and hard work, he rewards her with a special gift, a magical dumpling that has the power to heal and purify. This small, unassuming object will prove to be incredibly important later in her journey. This experience marks a significant turning point for Chihiro. Word of her successful handling of the difficult customer spreads throughout the bathhouse, and she begins to gain the respect and acceptance of her co-workers. More importantly, she gains confidence in her own abilities and a deeper understanding of the spirit world and her place within it. She realizes that her human perspective, rather than being a disadvantage, actually allows her to see things that the spirits themselves might miss. During her time at the bathhouse, Chihiro also encounters No-Face, one of the most mysterious and complex spirits she meets. No-Face initially appears as a dark, shadowy figure wearing a white mask with a simple, painted expression. He seems to be drawn to Chihiro's kindness and begins following her around the bathhouse, always staying at a respectful distance, but clearly interested in her activities. At first, No-Face appears to be helpful and harmless. He has the ability to create gold, which he uses to tip the bathhouse workers generously. This makes him very popular with the staff, who begin to treat him with great deference and attention. The more attention he receives, the more gold he produces, and soon there's a festive atmosphere surrounding his presence as workers compete to serve him and earn his golden rewards. However, as time passes, No-Face's behavior becomes increasingly problematic. The attention and greed of others seems to corrupt him, and he begins to grow larger and more demanding. His appetite becomes enormous, and he starts consuming not just food, but other spirits as well, growing ever larger and more chaotic. The gold he produces loses its appeal when weighed against the disruption and danger his presence brings to the bathhouse. Chihiro realizes that No-Face's behavior stems not from inherent evil, but from loneliness and the corrupting influence of the bathhouse's emphasis on material gain and superficial pleasures. While others fear him and want him removed from the building, she approaches him with compassion and understanding. She recognizes that underneath his frightening exterior, No-Face is fundamentally lost and seeking genuine connection rather than the shallow flattery he's been receiving. Instead of trying to drive him away or appease him with more gold and attention, Chihiro shows him true kindness by leading him away from the bathhouse to a quieter, more peaceful environment where he can find genuine rest. She gives him half of the magical dumpling she received from the river spirit, which helps calm his chaotic energy and allows his true, gentler nature to emerge. This act of selfless kindness transforms No-Face back into his original, harmless form, and he becomes one of Chihiro's most loyal friends. Throughout all these challenges and adventures, Haku continues to help and protect Chihiro whenever possible. However, she notices that he seems increasingly troubled and sometimes distant. There are moments when he appears to be struggling with some internal conflict, and she often catches glimpses of sadness in his eyes when he thinks no one is watching. She senses that he's carrying some burden that he can't or won't share with her. Gradually, Chihiro learns more about Haku's situation. He is actually a dragon who has forgotten his own true name and identity, which has left him bound to serve Yubaba against his will. Like Chihiro, he is trapped in the spirit world, unable to return to his true home or nature. This revelation deepens their friendship as they realize they share the common experience of being lost and separated from their true selves. Their bond grows stronger as they help each other navigate the complexities and dangers of the spirit world. Haku shares his knowledge of magic and the rules that govern this realm, while Chihiro's human perspective and natural kindness help him remember aspects of his own nature that he had forgotten. They become genuine friends, supporting each other through their respective struggles and challenges. The relationship between Chihiro and Haku is one of the most beautiful aspects of her journey. It's a friendship built on mutual respect, shared vulnerability, and genuine care for each other's well-being. Neither tries to use or manipulate the other. Instead, they offer support and encouragement, helping each other grow stronger and more confident in the face of their difficulties. Chihiro's greatest test comes when Haku is seriously injured while attempting to help her. The injury is both physical and spiritual, threatening not just his current form, but his very existence. Chihiro realizes that to save him, she must undertake a dangerous journey to seek help from Zeniba, Yubaba's twin sister, who lives far from the bathhouse in a remote cottage. This journey requires tremendous courage, as it means leaving the relative safety of the bathhouse and venturing into unknown parts of the spirit world. Chihiro must also return something that was stolen, a golden seal that has caused great trouble and carries powerful magic. The theft of this seal was connected to Haku's injury, and returning it is essential not only for his healing, but also for making amends for the wrong that was done. The journey to Zeniba's cottage takes Chihiro on a mysterious train that glides peacefully across a vast, flooded landscape. This train is unlike anything in the human world. It moves silently across the water, supported by magic rather than tracks, and it travels to destinations that exist only in the spirit realm. The train is filled with quiet, ghostly passengers who go about their journey in contemplative silence, each lost in their own thoughts and purposes. The journey becomes a meditative experience for Chihiro, giving her time to reflect on all that has happened to her and to prepare mentally for the challenges that still lie ahead. The flooded landscape they travel through is both beautiful and mysterious, with partially submerged buildings and trees creating an otherworldly seascape that speaks of change and transformation. No Face, now calm and gentle after their earlier encounter, accompanies Chihiro on this journey, along with a small mouse and a tiny bird, both innocent victims of Yubaba's transformational magic. The mouse was once Yubaba's giant baby, transformed as punishment for some misbehavior, while the bird was originally Yubaba's spy, changed by Zeniba's counter-magic. These companions add both comfort and complexity to the journey, as Chihiro takes responsibility for their safety and well-being. When they finally reach Zeniba's cottage, they find a dwelling that's completely different from Yubaba's imposing bathhouse. Zeniba lives simply and peacefully in a cozy home surrounded by gardens and natural beauty. The cottage is warm and inviting, filled with the comfortable clutter of a life lived thoughtfully and creatively. There are handmade crafts, books, comfortable furniture, and the gentle signs of a person who values simple pleasures and genuine connections over power and wealth. Zeniba herself is a revelation. While she's Yubaba's identical twin in appearance, her personality and values are completely different. Where Yubaba is greedy, controlling, and obsessed with power, Zeniba is generous, wise, and focused on helping others find their true paths. She welcomes Chihiro and her companions warmly, offering them food, rest, and comfort without asking for anything in return. Through her conversations with Zeniba, Chihiro begins to understand that the power to save Haku and herself has been within her all along. Zeniba doesn't offer easy solutions or magical fixes. Instead, she helps Chihiro see that the strength, wisdom, and love she needs to overcome her challenges are already part of who she is. The old witch's guidance is gentle but profound, helping Chihiro understand that true magic comes not from spells or supernatural power, but from the courage to act with love and determination, even in the face of fear and uncertainty. While staying with Zeniba, Chihiro also learns more about the complex relationship between the twin sisters and the different approaches they take to magic and power. Zeniba explains that she and Yubaba were once very similar, but their choices over the years have led them down very different paths. This serves as a lesson for Chihiro about the importance of choosing kindness and compassion over greed and control. It's during this peaceful time with Zeniba that Chihiro experiences a profound moment of realization and memory. As she sits quietly, reflecting on her journey and the people who have helped her along the way, she suddenly remembers a childhood experience that she had completely forgotten. She recalls falling into a river when she was very young and being saved by its spirit, a benevolent force that carried her safely to shore and prevented her from drowning. This memory comes flooding back with startling clarity, and with it comes the understanding of who Haku really is. She realizes that Haku is actually the spirit of that same river, the Kohaku River that had saved her life years ago. The river itself no longer exists in the physical world, having been filled in and built over as the area was developed, which explains why Haku had lost his identity and become bound to Yubaba's service. This revelation is both joyful and heartbreaking. Joyful because it explains the immediate connection she felt with Haku and the sense that they had known each other before. Heartbreaking because she understands that the destruction of his river home is what led to his current predicament. The loss of his natural habitat had severed his connection to his true self, leaving him vulnerable to Yubaba's control. Armed with this crucial knowledge, Chihiro prepares to return to the bathhouse. Zeniba provides her with a special protective charm, a hair tie woven with love and positive intentions that will help protect her in the challenges ahead. The charm represents not just magical protection, but the power of genuine friendship and care that Chihiro has inspired in others through her kindness and bravery. No Face chooses to remain with Zeniba rather than return to the bathhouse. He has found peace in the quiet, genuine atmosphere of the cottage, where he can be his true self without the corrupting influences of greed and superficial attention. Zeniba welcomes him warmly, recognizing that he needs a place where he can heal and grow in a healthy environment. The return journey to the bathhouse is filled with anticipation and determination. Chihiro knows that she now has the knowledge needed to help Haku, but she also realizes that her final challenges with Yubaba still lie ahead. The train ride back gives her time to prepare mentally for what she must do and to gather her courage for the confrontations that await her. When she arrives back at the bathhouse, she finds Haku in his dragon form, still suffering from his injuries and the magical bindings that hold him to Yubaba's will. In a moment of pure love and recognition, Chihiro tells him his true name, Kohaku River, and shares her memory of how he saved her life when she was a child. This act of remembering and naming breaks the spell that had bound him, restoring his memories and his connection to his true identity. The transformation is beautiful and moving. As Haku remembers who he truly is, his injuries begin to heal, and the magical bonds that held him to Yubaba's service dissolve. He is free to be himself again, no longer trapped by the loss of his identity. The reunion between Chihiro and Haku, now that they both understand their shared history, is deeply touching and speaks to the power of love and memory to overcome even the strongest magical curses. However, Chihiro's challenges are not yet over. She still must face one final test from Yubaba in order to secure her parents' freedom and her own release from the spirit world. Yubaba, true to her nature, doesn't make this easy. The witch devises a challenge that seems designed to be impossible, testing not just Chihiro's knowledge, but her fundamental understanding of truth and family. Yubaba presents Chihiro with a group of pigs and challenges her to identify which ones are her parents. This test seems impossible at first, as all the pigs look similar and show no signs of their former human identities. The bathhouse staff and other spirits gather to watch, many expecting that this will be where Chihiro's journey finally comes to an end. But Chihiro, having grown wise and perceptive through her experiences in the spirit world, approaches the challenge with calm confidence rather than panic. She has learned to see beyond surface appearances and to trust her deeper understanding of truth and connection. As she observes the pigs carefully, not just with her eyes, but with the wisdom she has gained through her trials, she realizes something that surprises everyone present. With quiet certainty, Chihiro declares that none of these pigs are her parents. Her confidence in this answer, her growth from the frightened child who first arrived in the spirit world to the wise and brave young woman she has become, impresses even Yubaba. The witch, bound by the magical rules that govern her own power, must honor their agreement and release Chihiro and her parents. The moment of her parents' transformation back to their human forms is filled with relief and joy, though they remain completely unaware of everything that has happened. To them, no time has passed at all. They simply remember sitting down to eat in the abandoned restaurant, and now find themselves back at their car, ready to continue their journey to their new home. As Chihiro prepares to leave the spirit world, she says goodbye to the friends she has made during her incredible journey. These farewells are bittersweet, filled with the sadness of parting, but also with gratitude for the connections that were formed and the growth that was achieved. Lin, who had been like an older sister to her, wishes her well with genuine affection. Kamaji, gruff but kind-hearted, acknowledges how much she has grown and changed during her time in the bathhouse. The other workers and spirits she had served and befriended also gathered to see her off, their presence a testament to the impact her kindness and dedication had on everyone around her. Even spirits who had initially been indifferent to her now showed genuine fondness and respect for the human girl who had worked so hard and shown such compassion to everyone she met. Haku walks with Chihiro to the tunnel entrance, their conversation filled with the deep affection and mutual respect that has grown between them. He promises that they will meet again someday, though perhaps not in the same way or in the same forms. Their friendship has transcended the immediate circumstances that brought them together, becoming something that will endure even as their paths diverge. There's something profoundly moving about this farewell. Both Chihiro and Haku have been forever changed by their friendship and the challenges they've faced together. They have helped each other remember who they truly are and have grown stronger through their mutual support and care. As they part ways, there's a sense that this isn't really an ending, but rather a transformation of their relationship into something that will continue to influence and inspire them throughout their future journeys. Chihiro emerges from the tunnel to find her parents waiting by their car, completely unaware of the magical adventure that has taken place. They remember nothing of being transformed or of the spirit world, and they show no awareness that any significant time has passed. To them, their brief exploration of the abandoned theme park was just a minor detour on their way to their new home. As they drive away toward their new life, Chihiro looks back once at the tunnel entrance, now appearing as nothing more than an old stone structure covered in vines and moss. The entrance to the spirit world has returned to its dormant state, giving no hint of the magical realm that lies beyond it. Yet Chihiro carries with her the memories and the growth that came from her incredible journey. The story ends with Chihiro having gained something infinitely precious from her experience. She has discovered reserves of courage, compassion, and wisdom that she never knew she possessed. The frightened, sullen child who entered the tunnel has been transformed into a confident, caring young woman who understands her own strength and the importance of kindness, respect, and genuine connection with others. Her time in the spirit world has taught her that courage isn't about not being afraid, but about doing what's right even when fear threatens to overwhelm you. She has learned that kindness and respect for others, even those who seem different or frightening, can transform the most difficult situations and create unexpected friendships. Most importantly, she has discovered that remembering who you truly are, maintaining your authentic identity even in the face of pressure to change or conform, is the key to finding your way home, no matter how lost you might feel. The lessons Chihiro learned extend far beyond her immediate situation. Her experience with No Face taught her about the corrupting influence of greed and the healing power of genuine compassion. Her work in the bathhouse showed her the satisfaction that comes from honest labor and dedication to helping others. Her friendship with Haku demonstrated the profound connections that can form when people support each other through difficult times and help each other remember their true selves. Her encounter with the polluted river spirit opened her eyes to the environmental consequences of human carelessness and the possibility of healing and restoration through patient, dedicated effort. Her time with Zeniba showed her that true wisdom comes not from the accumulation of power, but from the cultivation of kindness, generosity, and understanding. As we close this gentle tale, we're reminded that the most challenging journeys often lead us to discover our own inner strength and the fundamental importance of caring for others. Chihiro's adventure in the spirit world shows us that transformation and growth come not from external magic, but from the choices we make and the love we show to those around us. The spirit world that seemed so frightening and alien at first became a place where Chihiro found friendship, purpose, and self-discovery. The spirits that initially appeared strange or intimidating revealed themselves to be complex beings with their own stories, struggles, and capacity for both kindness and growth. This teaches us that our first impressions of people or situations are often incomplete, and that approaching others with openness and compassion can lead to understanding and connection where we least expect it. In helping others, whether it's a lonely spirit seeking connection, a polluted river god needing cleansing, or friends facing their own challenges, Chihiro discovered that we often find the path back to ourselves and to the peace we seek. Her journey reminds us that even when we feel small, lost, or powerless, we all have the capacity to make a positive difference in the world through our choices, our actions, and our willingness to care for others. The magical world of spirits and dragons may be fantasy, but the lessons Chihiro learned about courage, compassion, identity, and the power of genuine friendship are as real and valuable as anything in our everyday world. Her story encourages us to face our own challenges with bravery, to treat others with kindness and respect, and to always remember who we truly are, no matter what external pressures we might face. As you drift off to sleep tonight, let Chihiro's journey remind you of your own inner strength and the magic that exists in everyday acts of kindness and courage. Like her, you have the power to transform challenging situations through compassion, to find friendship in unexpected places, and to discover that home isn't just a place, but a feeling of peace and belonging that comes from knowing and accepting who you truly are.